It's September now. It's the end of September, actually. And,
Tomorrow's October. Just saying.
yeah. Well, all of those plants that I got at Lowe's for 75% off, they're still looking pretty amazing. Don't you think?
Yeah, it turned out good.
Yeah. But fall is just around the corner, and soon they'll be kind of buttoning up and going to bed, and the leaves are starting to turn. The persimmon tree is dropping its persimmons. The bees are still out working, but their forage is getting less and less. And so we've been working really hard to get Sugar Shack done and get your fields ready for October.
Yeah, there we are. That's actually for next year, though. It's a few acres of wheat, about 2 or 3 acres a week we planted for deer hunting, and hopefully to be able to dove hunt over next year if it turns out good.
Yeah. But you know, you're not done. We still have a ½ acre of wildflower seeds that we're going to plant for the bees next year. Well,
Thanks for reminding me that I'm not done.
Actually, it's for all the pollinators, right?
Yeah.
Not just the bees.
Corn turned out pretty good.
Yeah. Well, while you're playing in the field, I'm out looking at the pretty cool things that nature gives. Like this tree. How cool is this thing? It's been dead for a while. How it got its shape, I have no idea. But it caught my eye. And I thought it would make the coolest statue or just fixture in the yard somewhere.
So there we are, cutting it down.
That's my man with his chainsaw there. And his dad helping him. I think your dad was a little jealous.
Yeah, he had his eye on that for a couple years, he says. Thought about cutting it down the last couple years and just left it standing.
But he never said anything. We would have never known. But he can still enjoy it when he comes over to our house, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be really cool to plant like some petunias or something just kind of waving out of the bottom, or like an evergreen or something in there. I don't know. I guess I gotta put some poly on it first or it'll just rot away.
Yeah, it's on its last leg right now if you don't.
Charlie was with us that day. She didn't care too much about it. She was more into the music and eating breakfast and, you know, doing her thing. But as much as we get to play with stuff like that, there's always work to be done. We were really excited when we got the building up. Eric, he's pretty great. He actually built the building in 5 days, but the finishing touches are taking a lot longer.
But it's coming together.
It is. And part of that's because we're learning. We're doing a lot of it ourselves. There's some big things that we have some really awesome friends that are helping us with. Plumbing, electrical, Eric helping us with the walls. But for the most part, like, I'm really proud of you. Like, you really stepped in and just learning. Just took some initiative, you know?
Yeah, I'm not great at it, but seems like I learned something, a little more confidence every time I go out there. First I was scared to cut a piece of OSB, and next thing you know we got it all hung and it all looks pretty good.
Yeah. You know, we're doing so good out in the garage, and winter really is supposed to provide a break, but I do know of a lot of stuff in the house that we should get to too. I mean, you're getting really good.
You're talking about we, like you and our 2 children?
No, like we as in you and I. But alas...
Tomorrow's October 1st, you know what that is?
What?
It's the first day of deer season. That's when my
Yeah.
vacation starts, and it ends like the 14th of January. So
Oh, okay.
just, that's why I've been working so hard the last couple months. So for this break that I'm getting ready to take.
Gotcha. Well, at last, it is Extraction Day. We have been waiting for this day since Sugar Shack became a thing. We had really hoped that we would be a little further in the building than we are, and that we could invite the community out as a whole to just come check it out. You know, anybody come in and go, come and go as they please. But I just don't really think that we were quite ready for that.
No.
But we did get to invite some of the kids that really had shown some interest. We got to invite some parents over, just a few people that, you know, there was a real genuine interest in the bees, and that was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to be able to open it up, even if we weren't completely ready.
It'll be here soon enough. We'll have it ready to go in the spring. You can have a grand opening.
Yeah. I mean, we were late as it was.
Yeah, a couple weeks late.
Yeah, I mean, we really couldn't have taken it out too much further because, you know, ultimately the health of the bees is what's important, and we don't want to take from them any more than what they can't go ahead and rebuild back before the winter. We want to make sure that they've got everything they need first. So we suited up early in the morning, trying to beat the heat, and set out to the first group of hives. You know, we actually got quite a bit this fall. More than I thought.
Yeah, they did. These hives here at our house did real good. I mean, I think it produced 77 frames.
Mm-hmm.
They were all capped. Looked great. You have another piece of property that we end up with like 27 frames, but a lot of them, some of them weren't cured yet. They weren't completely capped, and it was due to the fact that there were splits that were made this year. So it's their first year. So even to get any honey off a beehive in the first year, you're doing good. So it turned out they're all done. They all seem really healthy, and
Yeah, because, I mean, we started out with only 9 hives this year.
actually 6 because we struggled with 3.
You're right.
We struggled with 3 hives all spring, just trying to keep them going. So we went off of 6 hives and ended up with close to 30, 29 or 30 hives we have now.
And all of those, if they weren't a swarm, and we did purchase 2 of them, so honestly, they were all organic. They were all straight from our property.
Yeah, they were in the springtime, and when they start getting overpopulated in a box early in the year, they'll draw out a queen cell, and that's why we made all of our splits just on queen cells that we found in these hives, and took a few frames of brood with queen cells on them and a few frames of honey, and started them out, and I don't think we lost any. I think every one that we split, I think, made it.
It did. I mean, we did struggle with a couple queens. You know, we did learn this year how to take the queen cells and make the new hive. So there was a learning curve on some of them.
We about lost half of them, but we ended up getting them going again.
We did. And you know, all of that said, that really enforces that these bees are doing really good. They were all so healthy when we got in them. I mean, we didn't dig down deep, but there was no need to. They were very healthy. They produced, I think, a great amount of honey.
For how many times have we split some of these hives? We did, I'm not sure exactly how many pounds of honey we got this year, but I would say, we're probably around 700 pounds, 650, 700 pounds of honey, which is really good when you start out the year with 6 hives. You split them, and you end up with around 30. I think they produce quite a bit this year. And next year it's going to be even better because we probably planted 3 or 4 acres of sweet clover in a piece of property, and it should take over very well next year.
Yeah. You know what I'm seeing here, though? Unfortunately, I'm seeing some work in spring.
Yeah, painting boxes.
Yes.
These boxes, there's about half of them that are ready to be, which we're just kind of getting started. We're going to purchase a bunch of boxes and make a bunch of boxes this year, and see the ones that are not doing very well. I mean, it's pretty easy to switch them out. We can split these boxes down and put a brand new box and take all the frames and put them in a new box, and then we can take the ones that need a little work and touched up painting, and we can do it with no bees in them.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. But it's good enough to get them through the winter.
Yeah, they've got a good start going into winter. No beetles, no hive or like mites, nothing. We really didn't see anything. Now, I did go ahead and put Swiffers in right before I shut the lid on them, just in case. But
Well, there's
honestly,
probably a few
they didn't
scragglers
need
in
it.
there. I mean, you're not going to see. If you have mites bad, when you open up the top, it seems like all the bees push them to the top and they'll have them in a corner. So you'll know. We've ran into it a few times before where as soon as you take that top lid off, there'll be a ton of small hive beetles up there. But this year, it seems like we've kept them under control. Because just see a very, very few. And just in a few hives. Out of the hives we have, I think I remember seeing beetles in 2 hives. And it was just very minimal amounts.
Yeah. I love bees. They're awesome. So, we get all the frames out. I step away. I go to the church. I'm helping out there. You go to the property and you get the rest of the frames and you come back. I get my camera out. I get everything ready. And extraction time comes. Everybody's showing up. And guess what I forget to do?
Push record.
Yes. Yes. So I got none of the extraction. The only thing I got was at the very, very end when the last of the honey was coming out of the extractor. That's what I got.
There'll be many times to come.
Oh, I hope so. But we got it all in the buckets and we've got some in the bottles. The bottles are what we share with the community. I think that the community is really enjoying it. I love being able to provide a resource like this, a healthy, beneficial resource, and sharing that. Not only that, but sharing the information and the education with the kids. That's my favorite. So what's the goals for next spring?
My goal is I'd like to have about 20 hives producing honey.
Going into spring?
Mm-hmm. And if whatever, 15 to 20 hives. 20 hives would be nice, but we're wanting to definitely produce more hives, so we're going to have to split some of them. So we're going to have to really take care of these bees, get them through winter, keep an eye on them, and if we don't lose very many, we should be just fine. Should be able to have 20 producing honey, and we should have 8 or 10 that we can split and then turn into, I'd like to have 75, 80 hives by the end of next year.
Yeah.
It'd be a good game plan, which is going to be a ton of work, but be a good benefit at the end.
All the good stuff has work behind it.